Lindsey Graham. I have a few words for this guy, because this guy is a real schmuck. Lindsey Graham went on the Morning Joe the other day, this past weekend. And he had a question that he threw out there that I think I'm going to help him answer on this radio show tonight. He asked, you know, you look at people like Carson and Trump, how am I losing to these people? He's wondering how he's losing so badly. And again, we're going to help him answer, but first I want to play this soundbite for you. Here's Lindsey Graham on the Morning Joke a few days ago.
On our side, you got the number 2 guy tried to kill somebody at 14, and the number 1 guy's high energy and crazy as hell. How am I losing to these people?
All right, now we were speaking about Ben Carson as the number 2 guy and Donald Trump as the number 1 guy. Again, knowing that, listen one more time to what he said about first Ben Carson and then Donald Trump. This is coming from Lindsey Graham, the scum of the earth.
On our side, you got the number 2 guy tried to kill somebody at 14, and the number 1 guy's high energy and crazy as hell. How am I losing to these people?
Okay, so first, let's break that down. He's attacking Ben Carson for something that he did at age 14. Ben Carson has spoken publicly about what he did. He was living a life of crime, really. He was not on a good path. And he's very, very open about that now. But Lindsey Graham, for him to go on this show and say, well, you know, Ben Carson tried to kill someone at age 14. Okay, Ben Carson has said that was not a good time in his life. And how about this, Lindsey? Instead of focusing what someone in your own party did at the age of 14, how about you celebrate the fact that Ben Carson actually got his life together, went on to become an extremely successful doctor, and is now running for president of the United States despite all odds against him? Why don't you say something like that, Lindsey? Then you moved on to Donald Trump. He is high energy and he's just crazy. Okay, well, first of all, I don't understand why having high energy is bad. You could use a little passion in your voice, if you ask me, Lindsey. Second, crazy. Donald Trump is crazy for actually standing up to a political party and a left-wing media that for years has bullied us and threatened us and shot us down. For that, Donald Trump is crazy. For getting pissed off for once, Donald Trump is crazy. For actually having passion for this country, Donald Trump is crazy. Now, you don't understand why you're losing to these people. How could I be losing to these people? Well, let's help you figure it out, Lindsey, because I think I have an answer for you. You're not bold, one bit. You're not aggressive, one bit. When you speak, there's absolutely no passion in your voice whatsoever. You do not articulate a case for liberty. You do not articulate a case for constitutional government, not one bit. You're what I like to call a big butt. You're a big butt, and what a big butt is someone who goes out there and says, for instance, I personally support traditional marriage, but ... Or, I personally support closing the border, but ... Or, I personally support the Second Amendment, but ... Lindsey Graham is one of these people. A big butt who constantly gives in and seeks to appease the left. To sum up, Lindsey Graham, the grassroots conservatives want a bull as a candidate. And you, sir, are a sloth. That's the best terms I can put it. You're a sloth. You're unappealing. You're dull. You're boring. You're not passionate. You don't talk about liberty. You're a big butt. The list goes on and on and on. Now do you understand why you're losing? And on a little side note, you're a jackass. But in the same interview, Lindsey Graham went on to attack Donald Trump and his immigration plan. Listen to this.
At the end of the day, I think Jeb is a very viable candidate. He is re-engineering his campaign. But for all of us, if we don't step up our game on the establishment side, whatever you want to call it, and start challenging these guys more effectively, I think we're letting the cause down, because Donald Trump will get killed in a general election. He will absolutely get. Hillary Clinton will mop up the floor with his stuff.
Are you with me, Lindsey, that Jeb's talking about how he's being vilified, demonized?
Now, that was really interesting. Before we play the rest of the clip, Lindsey Graham is openly speaking with Joe Scarborough and his crew of buffoons about how the establishment GOP needs to stand up and fight back against the conservatives. Isn't this interesting? How they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They literally think that the establishment way is the right way. They literally think that taking the establishment path and purposefully doing so will win them the nomination and ultimately the presidency. And so here's Lindsey Graham, again, scum of the earth, talking about how the establishment needs to stand up to these people, like Donald Trump. How about you just sit the hell down, Lindsey Graham? Just stay home. I also noticed that Lindsey Graham is not married. Is that correct? I believe it is. I can see why. Let's continue the soundbite.
You know nothing about being...
Yeah, you and I, we could write a book about it.
Now, isn't it amazing how comfortable Lindsey Graham seems on MSLSD? Laughing with them, making jokes. He just seems so... he seems in his element, does he not? I could kind of see Lindsey Graham as a contributor on MSLSD. You might want to look into that, Lindsey, when your campaign inevitably goes up in flames.
To my family reunion, I can't verify far more than this.
No, seriously, it does. Actually, it does raise a legitimate question. Does this guy have what it takes? He hasn't been touched.
Not at all.
And yet he's angry.
They're talking about Donald Trump here.
I was stunned.
Two Republicans, if you want to win this race, we got two problems: Hispanics and young women. Donald Trump's position on immigration is hateful and illogical. There's a reason.
I'm sorry, was that one of the liberal commentators speaking there, or was that a member of our own party? Donald Trump's immigration plan is hateful and whatever he said. You kidding me? And this guy wonders why he's doing so poorly. This is why, Lindsey. This is why.